In this video, we're going to focus on creating these nice buttons here that help us to zoom. So for example, if I want to zoom in on this quadrant, the top left, I click on this and you can see it zooms in nicely. If I want to reset it and zoom out again, we can just click on reset. There we are. And of course, we can click every button to zoom in to the matching quadrant. So let's start to look how we can create a zoom button in chart.js 4. So we have this quadrant here, and this quadrant is based on this video here, how to create background quadrants. And what we want to do now is to zoom in on these items. So what we're going to do now here is, first of all, if you want to get this, check out my Patreon page where you have access to that, or check out that video. And you can also join my Discord channel so you're fully up to date with the latest videos they have posted. So what we're going to do here, we're going to create buttons where we can click on and zoom on specific quadrants. So for this, what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to say a button. And then in here, we can say top left. And what I will do is just we'll make this an on click because I want to trigger a function with that. And we can just call this our quadrant zoom function. I'm going to put in here basically some values that I will specify later. So I'm just going to copy this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the reason why is I want to have one reset button. I want to have here top left, top right, and then we have here bottom left, bottom right. There we are. So what do I want to do now? Just grab this, scroll down here and create a function. And in this function here, we're just going to say function quadrant zoom, and then we're going to put in the arguments, or in this case, these are the parameters. The arguments are above. So we're going to say here, this will be the x min value. This is basically related to the scale. And we say here the x max value, and then we're going to say here the y min and the y max. Once we did that, I want to do here something, which is basically when we click on this, I want to update here, well, let's see here, on the x scale, the min and max value. By doing that, we're basically zooming in, as you can see here on the scale. Let's make this, just to make it very simple, I just put it on 0, and the max here will be on 3. So we have a very simple rectangle shape here. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to say here now, we're going to say here, let's see what we need here is basically constant, and we can do an object destructuring. So what I'm going to say here equals, we say here my chart.config.options. And the reason why for this is we're going in here, basically into the config options, and then we're going to the scale. So we can say here in the scales, we're going to say here x and y, and we want to grab those x and y scales specifically. Then what I want to do is I want to say here, if I do a console log, or well, probably it's not possible right now because we don't have the function active yet. But what I want to do here is on the x scale, get here the min value and set that to the latest value related to the colored rectangle. So what I'm going to do here, we can say here the x dot min, that is the value within the scale, will be equal to x min. Very straightforward. And then we can guess the others as well. Max and max. And we can just, let's copy those. Put a y in here. And here as well. This will be the y. So we have all of those. Then what I want to do here is my chart, because I'm going to go to the chart object and then update this. To update that, we have to make sure that these variables are now matching. So let's copy that, and let's do first one that is the easiest, is the reset button. For the reset button here, basically we will set it on 0 for the x scale as minimum. Then the highest value will be 3. And for the y min is 0 all the way to 3 as the highest value. So 0, 3. Because we know that it is basically 1.5 each. So we can just quickly go to the others. So what I'm going to do here for the upper one, because this is the top left. So pay attention here. We're going to do 0 to 1.5. 0 to 1.5, comma, then we want to have here 1.5 to number 3. That's the one I want, 1.5 for the y, and then 3 as the highest. So what we can do here, I can copy all of this, but then for the top right, we don't do 0 to 1.5, now we go 1.5 to 3, and then from 1.4, and then basically going up here 1.5 to 3. So we can just say here, this will be 1.5, this will be 3. Once we did that, we can now again do the other one. I can just grab this for the bottom left. Bottom left, 0 to 1.5, and then as well 0 to 1.5. And finally, I guess you know now the structure of it. So this should be 1.523, and then here, like that, if I'm not mistaken. Alright, so if I click on one of these, you can see here, I get a gray one. There we are. If I reset, it goes back. If I go to top left, you can see here, we get a light gray. Top right, slightly darker. Bottom left, very dark. And then here, bottom right, slightly darker. And that's it.